Oh, two people are already in here. I didn't even realize. Um, Good evening. You guys are new faces. Well, good night. It's actually 10 p.m. already. Um, I don't remember if I went live yesterday. I feel like I did. But anyways, I'm trying to go live more often these days. If anybody has checked out my stories recently, you'll kind of see that I've been talking about a situation that has nothing to do with clothes, unfortunately. And I'm just talking about, hold on, I'm just gonna put some music on. See, I should have done this before I came on here. Yeah, I haven't been talking about clothing at the moment. I've been talking about situations. Sorry, I'm trying to play some music. I hate when it's quiet in the background when I do videos. Yeah, so I've been talking about a situation that I've gone through. In particular, I have been and still am to some degree, but a way lesser degree now. I've been gang stalked. Essentially, these people have been trying to recruit me to be a drug mule. And that's just been something that, not just been something, it is something that I have absolutely no interest in, and it's not going to happen. Now, I don't know. I don't know in this situation if people have made themselves contractually obligated to bring me in. Maybe they were paid, maybe they exhausted all the money, and now they're in debt to these obviously dangerous people. And so because of that, they can't walk away from the situation. That's what I assume has happened. Because there's no logical reason at this point in time that somebody would continue to keep trying. I think it really is a situation where somebody signed up to do something that they thought would be easy and fast, and the situation got out of control, and it's been literally a year. I think they started this whole thing, I think this whole thing started 2 years ago, but every time I think about it, I feel like there's a possibility that I was approached from before, and I just never bit. So yeah, like I'm thinking back to a couple times in the past that people approached me and to be friends or have some sort of like weird fake friendship, and I just never went for it. And I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I just know right now I'm at a place in my life where I don't really care like what's going on. As far as, so for people, if anybody wants to see like the story of what happened, I've posted videos on YouTube. I put these videos, like clips of my lives, in my stories with a link to my YouTube, so you can check that out. But even despite all of that, like if you so you can kind of go to the stories that I've posted before, and then you can kind of see like what's happened. So some of the things that you go through when you're being gang stalked is obvious, like you're hacked. All your stuff is hacked. So your security cameras at your house, they're hacked. Your phones, your laptop, your computer, your internet server is hacked in general, so they could see, like what devices are tapping into it. My kids' phones were hacked, sorry. The first tip that I gave was to put a lock on your SIM card. And you literally can call the whatever company you're with, and you can just ask them like to put a lock code on your SIM card. And basically what that does is that makes it, I can't say impossible, but harder for people to tap into your calls. Because let me tell you what was happening. If I made a call, they could intercept the call in general and then talk to me as if I'm talking to them. It's the craziest thing. Like if I called, I remember trying to call hotlines and stuff, and some guy would come on the phone and be like, "Who cares what you're talking about? Stop making reports. Go call the talk to the social media site where you got hacked from." And I was like, "What?" I was like, "There's no way." So I've been going, this has been like a year. This has been a year, so I wouldn't worry about this at this point. Um, but yeah, in the beginning, it was frightening. In the beginning, it was terrifying because you have no idea what it is, who they are, what they want. Are they trying to extort you? Are people like gonna kick down your door at night? Like you have no idea. And but I realized like that is what the point was. The point was to terrify me, to take my focus off of work, to break me down mentally. And you know, the other thing is this doesn't just happen to me. This happens to so many people. This is happening to people right now. This is happening to people everywhere. That's why I'm putting the videos out, regardless of how my engagement is or how many people are going to log into the video or whatever. I just put it out because you know what's crazy is the majority of followers that I have are gang stalkers. There are people that are a part of this. There are people that are okay with it, but they don't realize that they can never leave. They don't realize that they're in this for life because their participation is funding somebody else's lifestyle. So as long as they're cooperating, they're under the illusion that they have freedom. The minute that they decide to walk away, then they start seeing what's going on. And in the same way that they participate with triangulating other people and manipulating other people's lives, is the same way their life is being manipulated. So they're not realizing, they're in the same gang and they're not realizing that these people are keeping love away from them. If they meet somebody nice and then the person all of a sudden ghosts or doesn't want to talk to them, that may not be natural. If they have an opportunity that would allow them to make money outside of what it is that they're doing, those opportunities always tend to fizzle out or go away. It's always something going on that keeps people reliant on this network. That's how it runs. So this is why it's a cult. If you ever look at, you can literally go on YouTube. If you ever look at how cults operate, they basically like enslave their members. And the only difference with this one, well, actually, most of the cults are the same. It's only when people want to leave that they realize they're in a cult. There was this one cult, I forget what they're called, they're famous. The guy pulled together all the resources, all the money, and he moved everybody to Guyana. And when they got to Guyana, they built a plantation. He made them build it. They bought a plantation, they bought land, and he made them build like the houses and everything. And then he built a perimeter around it, and they were protected by guns, like machine gun, like heavy guns, like no one could leave. And when some people called home, they called their families in the US and they're like, listen, this person's out of their mind. I don't know what's going on. When the military and politicians, I don't think it's the military, but I think it was like a politician or whatever came, they shot the politician too. Like they played it off for a couple of days, and then when the politician's like, something's not right, because before he left, somebody slid a note in his hand. They almost killed the politician as well. Like, and you know what? The other thing too is sometimes some of the people that would be following me are blatantly immigrants. They're very, very clearly immigrants. And you can just tell by like the way that they're dressed and all of that. So it's like there's people that even are brought into the country and they're put into slavery right away. They're put into, it's like the way. So can you even imagine you're in your country and you want to come over to Canada or America, and the way that you get here, by the time you get here, you're going to be enslaved. You're going to be at these people's mercy. And it's terrible. So I had a staff member who worked for me, and you know, I can tell she came there to be a troublemaker. I could tell she wasn't like a real employee type thing. And she's telling me that she's in Canada. She has like 2 young children at home, back home, and then her husband is in a totally different country. So both of these kids are not even being raised by a biological parent. Their parents are in different countries. And it's like, The person she told me that she's living with, I find out later, she admits to me later, it's like not a biological situation, like she's not biologically related to them. So it's like they're at people's mercy. And this is stuff, it's just like gang stalking in general, where it's like so beyond like what you think could happen to you or what you think would happen in a first world country like this. And not only is it happening, but it's like crazier things are happening. Like, and there was a case that came out, I think it was early this year. There was a case that came out where they basically rescued all these immigrants because they had them on a farm. And these people, they weren't feeding them well. Like they had them, like they couldn't go wherever they want. Like they were basically like cattle. They were like slaves, sorry. So it's like things like that are happening. It's coming out all the time. I think the gang stalking thing cannot continue for forever. I think they have done in the past a decent enough job of breaking people down mentally, spiritually, slandering them in the community, isolating them completely. These people don't have a way to reach out to people. Luckily, I have a platform, even though my engagement is horrible. The phone is definitely hacked. It always says one person's in here. Let me see myself. It always says one person is in here, but there are always like, it's like sometimes it'll refresh and I'll see like 3 people or like the original 3 people are still on there. Like I can never tell. The one thing that I just do is I just say what I have to say, even if it shows like, but I go to other people's lives. No, listen, I go to other people's lives. This happened earlier today. I know I go to other people's lives, and then when I click on how many people are in, it might say 300 on the top, but it'll only show like 9 people when you click it. Or sometimes it shows no one's in the live, but I'm seeing more people in the live. And then the person speaking thinks there's no one and they get off the live, but there are actually people in the live. Like even me, I'll be in the live and it'll show nobody there. I can't even see myself in the live show up, right? So like I just talk, I just say what I have to say. When it comes to my phone being hacked, my computer being hacked, all of that is still happening. This person is not gonna leave me alone, I don't think, until they pass away. I feel like this guy's gonna die, be a ghost, and haunt me. That's what I think. Like he's out of his mind. He's literally out of his mind. He needs mental help. But this guy is like a criminal. He's a known criminal and he's connected and he has a gang stalking ring. So it's like he's not gonna get the help that he needs. Like if this were somebody at home with their family, they could get help. They could get somebody to say like, you're not well, we need to take you to the hospital. But you know, this person is, I don't know what it is, but you know, it is what it is. I don't really care if my phone's hacked. I no longer care if my computer's hacked. I don't care if I'm being followed. It just gets to a point where you have to move on with your life. So I just like accept it as it is. It is what it is. You know, I've gone through active gang stalking for a year, so it doesn't jolt me like how it would a person that's seeing it for the first time. So if I see something odd, I'm not like, it's been a year. It's been a year and you make reports and the police don't do anything. And the way I feel about it right now is, now this brings a point to the safety thing. I think it's not that they don't want to hurt you. It's just that it needs to look natural. So, you know, if they started doing this for hire and then they were violently killing people, this business couldn't sustain itself because very easily, forgive my cat. Whenever I start saying certain things, my cat starts going crazy. Anyway, I feel like if they were to violently kill you, then obviously the police are going to get involved. It's going to be a national issue. But they always want it to look natural, like a suicide or like, you know, like something, just a random thing happens. You end up in like a car crash or whatever. And then people don't say anything because people are scared. So it's like, for me personally, I no longer, after a year, and I realized that when I was paying attention to like, oh, my phone is hacked, my computer's hacked, my email's hacked. First of all, I can't even do anything about it. Like, it is, I'm wasting my time. I have to move on with my life. I have things that I have to get done. I have to go to work. So it's like, it is what it is. I just move about my day. And sometimes I may notice people around me behaving odd. Sometimes I care, sometimes I don't. Mostly at this point, I don't, to be honest with you. It literally has no effect on me. I'm not trying to like race away from cars that are following me. Like, look, it is what it is. Because they're doing it to get a reaction. And then when you look at the people that are doing it, you just realize like somebody is following you who is like, who looks like a single mom in her 40s, a soccer mom. I don't physically feel threatened by this person. Sometimes they look nervous themselves. They used to send people to my store, and the people that they're sending to the store, the people themselves don't want to be there. The people look nervous. Sometimes they would send people to stand outside my store to stare at me, and the people are on the phone and they're arguing. They're like, I don't want to be here right now. What am I doing here? I want to leave. And then if I would kind of like walk up to the door to kind of look at they would like walk away. They would refuse to make eye contact. They would look away. I think these people are victims too. I don't think that everybody doing this is like a monster. There are definitely monsters that are doing this. But I think these people are people that got caught up. And then after a while, it's like they started noticing people didn't want to do it. So then one person would come in and then another man would come behind them and he would be like in a threatening way. Because we have a women's clothing store. What is a man doing walking around in the store? And then she's flinching, looking over at him every time. And this has happened over and over and over and over for months. They send one woman in. The woman is terrified. She's flinching. She's saying rude things, but it looks forced. She sometimes barely can get the words out. She's stuttering. The guy is in the store looking at women's clothing. Some of these guys don't even care enough to say, to pretend to be like, oh, I'm here for my sister or my daughter. It's like they literally just walk around close enough to listen to what she's saying. And then she leaves and they leave. So it's like, I don't know what the training is that they put people through, or if they just they obviously harass people, they bully people. And this is the craziest part, because I just feel like when all of it comes out, there are going to be so many witnesses and so many people who've been violated, and normal everyday people who've been targeted and just put in a horrible situation, you know, that they don't want to be in. Had I conceded, had I agreed, had I not gone through the year of abuse that I went through, I would be one of those people that would have to show up to somebody's business to behave that way. And I think that's further antagonizing a person, because after remembering the trauma that you went through, now making you do that to other people is sadistic. It is freaking evil. There's no other way to put it, because it's like you can see that they're reliving this whole episode and they're probably thinking to themselves like, wow, like it's just a cycle. It's a cycle. And it ends with me. I feel zero fear of this person. I loosely call it a person. I would never dare call it an animal, because I love animals and have respect for them. I don't know what it is. It's a demon. I have no respect. His name is John Ferreira. I will always say it. I put his name in my videos. People need to know who he is. He's of Portuguese descent. He's overweight and he's maniacal. He's crazy. He's unhinged, and he needs to be put behind bars. I have zero fear for him and zero respect for him whatsoever. And I could care less what he tries to do. He's done his worst. And I think more people, you know, he's into computer technology and stuff. So like he's gonna disable videos and like make things like, you know, make my engagement not be great. But they can only do this for so long. They could only do this for so long. I've made it a mission in my life to bring this person to justice, and it must happen. It doesn't matter if it's not this year, if it's not next year, if it's not in 5 years. There are just certain people you shouldn't have done it, and you shouldn't have played games with me whatsoever. And people need to know. And I just want, if all people get is the strength to just stand up and say, I'm not doing this. No, I'm not waking up to go follow anybody anymore. No, I'm not doing this. No, I'm not getting on a plane and going anywhere. I'm not going to allow people to control my life. It is better to go through however long it takes to get your life back than to die in this thing, because they never let people go. Like, there were people coming around, elderly people, that were coming around to my store, that were hanging around outside, in the parking lot, wherever, elderly people. So they never get their claws out of people. So, I put these videos out here. I say what I have to say so people know like what's going on. And, if somebody is somebody who's going through something or is involved in this type of criminal family or this criminal activity, then great. At least somebody has walked away from it. Somebody has managed to avoid it, to even be involved in it at all. If you're just curious about it, like, what is this? I still think it's important to know about it, to know it exists, because I think today me, tomorrow someone else. So that's why I put the information out there. And I didn't even get to what I wanted to say. So yes, the tip of the day is use cash. So the first tip that I gave was try not to walk around with your cell phone if you don't have to. That really, really helps, because people can't track your movements everywhere. So try not to walk with your cell phone. Get a SIM lock on your cell phone regardless, so that your calls, at least people don't have to listen to your phone calls. So at least you have that semblance of privacy. But yeah, if you're not gonna walk with your cell phone, and then you're gonna be tapping your debit card all over, then it's gonna be pointless, because they're basically just gonna track your debit card. It is what it is. So wherever you're tapping your card, and from what I knew about these people, there was a Telegram group that they tried to get me to join. He first told me about Telegram. He's like, oh, WhatsApp is gonna get hacked, use Telegram. And then me, like an idiot, I'm like, oh yeah, maybe WhatsApp is not safe and I'm gonna use Telegram. No, they're on Telegram. That's where the group is. Because I think you can have like 200,000 people in one group chat on Telegram, and it's supposed to be encrypted. But so is WhatsApp. Everything's supposed to be encrypted these days. I don't trust anything. But yeah, I don't know if when you tap your card, they go to the Telegram group and they're like, who's by Fairview Mall right now? Who's by Yorkdale right now? Who's by the airport right now? And then that's where people, start showing up and walking around looking for you and whatever. So it's like, if you're gonna go out and have a decent day, just do not bring your phone. If you don't need it, don't bring your phone. If you do need it, turn it off. And when you turn it off and you have a lock on the SIM card, if once your phone's hacked and someone remotely turns it back on, it's not going to turn all the way on. It's only going to turn on enough to put the SIM card password in. So that really helps, because then they can't track you with the phone, even though they try to turn it back on. So that's been super helpful for me. And then the second thing is use cash wherever you go, so that you can just go about your day, move about in peace. And I mean, even if they happen to still, track you down and whatever, who cares? Like, you can't let people ruin your life. You can't let people make you feel uncomfortable with yourself. You literally have to mentally and emotionally take back control over your life, because that's what they want. They want to ruin your business, ruin your reputation, ruin your life, get you out of your job. And this is how they get people into human trafficking, selling drugs, and literally, being a part of this cult. It's very few people. The only people that I see that look happy to be a part of it are the people making real money. Everybody else looks like they're bullied and they're forced at gunpoint, or these are people that don't care about being a part of criminal activity. But when I see like normal human beings who like, want to have kids and had a job and like, or had a good job, they don't want to be a part of this mess. This is a mess. This is a mess. It's disgusting. So I don't want to make this one too long tonight. That's my tip of the day, is use cash. And one more thing, and I'm going to expand on it in another video, not tonight, but another tip I have is document everything: dates, times, names, places, everything. Not on your computer or your phone or anything digital. Hard copy. Hard copy with paper or removable drive. Keep very, very detailed notes. That's what I do. You never know when you're going to have to go to trial. You never know what's going to come of things. And it's just much more logical when you can pull something out and you have dates, times, and as much detail as possible. It's very hard for people to lie when you have documentation. But anyways, I'll go into that in another video. But this is my video for tonight. So thank you to whoever did tune in, and I am going to put a clip of this in my stories with a link to my YouTube. Check out my YouTube. Even now in my stories, there's a clip in my YouTube. You can go there and just skim through the videos and see what I talk about and see kind of the backstory of what I'm talking about. So before I go, my name is Keisha. I am the owner of Can Boutique in Toronto, very popular boutique. And if we are not as popular right now, it's because I have been gang stalked and people have tried to tear me down for a year. And if I have anything to do with it, the whole world is going to know. And it's a matter of time. So again, thank you for tuning in and have a good night.